Welcome to Primos for Life, the wrestling podcast made for the fans, by the fans. Como siempre, yo soy Eddie, el niño vaque. We got Ariel, the Ecuadorian dream bisueta, and we are your self-proclaimed, undisputed co-host tag team champions of the world. In tonight's episode, we dive into all the action from this week's Monday Night Raw and Friday Night Smackdown. From shocking returns to storyline twists, we've got all the highs, the lows, and everything in between. So, como siempre, sit back, grab a snack, and let's get it on! Yo, primo. What's up?
Nothing, man. Some last minute adjustments here. Sorry about that.
No,
good, man. I'm good, man. Everything's all right. No news is good news a lot of times. So, family's good, job's good. House is still not falling apart. So,
yes,
good there.
Oh,
can't complain, man.
Bro, you brought up house, and I was like, bro, I've been in a battle with Samsung all week, man. I've had three different refrigerators in my house. It's wild.
That's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Come on, good people at Samsung. If
Yeah.
anyone here works for Samsung or knows somebody who works at Samsung, give us a shout. Do the right thing, Samsung. Come on, come through.
Do the right thing. Right, exactly.
Do the right thing.
Man.
Come on.
Anyway.
Come on, man. But we're not here to talk about Samsung or fridges, man. We're here to do what we normally do. And that is chat wrestling. And today is not a special episode. It's one of our standard recap episodes going over Raw and SmackDown of the week and what we think is going to happen, moving forward. Kind of just recapping, getting ready for the next major PLE, which is
WrestlePalooza.
And then on Friday, there's a AAA event.
Which the card looks really good.
Right.
A lot of,
so
it's good matches there for sure.
I'm gonna have to watch that on Saturday, I guess. It's going to be on YouTube, probably, right? YouTube.
Yep.
Yeah, great. Okay, well then, so that's what we're here for, man. Is there anything you want to add before we get involved?
No. I just felt the only thing that I will say before we jump into these episodes is, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about Raw and SmackDown this week. So maybe as we go through it, we could kind of try to figure that out. But
try to explain it away.
Yeah, it was just kind of like a meh kind of week. It was just, I don't know. Well, we'll get into it.
No, you're not wrong. It seemed very just kind of, I mean, even with this big stuff that happened, which we'll get into, it's still just kind of like everything else was. But also to give everyone a quick heads up, we're going to be testing out a new format here where usually we would just go back and forth conversing about the Raw or the SmackDown, where we'll just kind of go interchanging spots and matches and things like that. But we're going to try something new where I'm going to pretty much run through Raw. And of course, Eddie and I will go back and forth, and Eddie will be doing the same for SmackDown.
Yeah.
Throw it to the wall, see if it sticks, kind of go from there.
Let us know.
A little more rhyme reason. Yeah. Let us know what you guys think about the format. If you think it works or if it doesn't, you prefer it the other way. We're always here to take, any kind of criticisms and, whatever you guys have, please throw them our way. We'd love to hear them.
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah, man. All right. Well, the floor is yours then.
All right. So we're going Raw, and this is the Raw after Clash in Paris. So we are still in Paris. So we open with, of course, a review of Clash in Paris, everything that happened, of course, which we covered. Yeah. And then we find out that CM Punk is waiting at the entrance to the stadium or the whatever you want to call it, and because he's waiting for Seth Rollins. So Pierce comes over and he's like, nope, this is the only way in. I'm sitting here till he comes in. Go do something else. So Pierce bails. Fine. We get Jey Uso. Main event Jey Uso comes out to start talking about what happened to his cousin and how he was wronged. And, he loves his family. The most important thing is family. Then he is interrupted by the man who you and I both think has the most substantial beef to date right now, LA Knight, Noche.
Yeah.
So he comes out. Yeah, exactly. So they come out, start beefing with each other. And then we are now once again interrupted by the Vision and Braun. So they come out, start talking smack. Long story short, too late. We're going to have a tag match at the end of the night. Braun versus Jey and Noche. So standard, kind of beginning to see what's happening. It's about 20 minutes of Raw was that right there.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah. And then the only thing that I will say about that is, I mean, it's like you said, standard segment, nothing too crazy. LA Knight, does pretty well in situations where he's always getting the short end of the stick.
Mhm.
And Jey Uso, I don't know, man. I like one some weeks I like him, some weeks I'm just like, all right, dude, go take a vacation, go do something.
Right.
I don't know. I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like I feel like kind of like what we said on Clash in Paris. I feel like everybody's still all over the place,
yeah.
and
Mhm.
now we're trying to get back into these storylines of okay, the vision and the beef and everything like that. But I'm just like, I'm what I'm trying to do as a fan at this point is just kind of take
Mhm.
a seat back and just watch because I'm tired
Right.
of speculating and I'm tired of setting my standards high or just project my ideas on where I think it's gonna go and then
Mhm.
sorely get disappointed. So I think this time around until WrestlePalooza, I'm just like
Mhm.
taking a seat back and watching and seeing, okay, what are we doing? You know?
Well, yeah, I think it's definitely tempering your expectations
Yeah,
as to
yeah,
what you think's gonna happen. So I think that's definitely a good idea just to kind of reel it in because you and I are always,
yeah.
book fantasy booking and coming up with this and this and this. And we have to remember that they have to continually go with these storylines. There
Yes,
is
they
no
do.
it stops and then the show ends and then no, it's constantly going every week. So yes, while unfortunately there are those episodes that are just kind of filler and setup and things like that, which I think Raw kind of fell into, with the exception of setting up for one thing on SmackDown.
Yeah,
That I agree with you 100% on that.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So then we get a package of Io Sky, rather sorry, helping Rhea
yeah.
during her match, and then we get a shot of Io and the Kabuki Warriors talking. Asuka saying, "It's cool, don't worry about it. Like, you do what you got to do, but like in a cool way, like trying to be, down." And
Yeah.
Io was like, "All right, well, I'll be there to help you guys." She's like, "No, we don't need your help. Like, we got this. We're gonna go take care of Judgment Day for you." And they're gonna go up against Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez,
Yeah.
which does happen, and we get the winners in a straight match, kind of generally. The
Yeah.
Kabuki Warriors win, solid match, nothing crazy. I don't know if you have anything to add.
Yeah, no, I mean, like you said, standard match. Again, I'm just trying to see where this all is starting to go. It seemed like it was a lot of um, we have a lot of Judgment Day segments because I believe Judgment Day had like 3 matches that night.
Yeah.
We're trying to pick up speed or steam rather with that storyline. But, to what you mentioned earlier, the AAA event is coming, and then later in
Mhm.
SmackDown, we see what the card is starting to look like, and a lot of people in this episode of Monday Night Raw are actually
Right.
involved in AAA. So it's like, okay, we don't we're filling like you said, Monday Night Raw was a filler, but now we're
Right.
gonna insert them in AAA's event, to try to like, give these people something to do, because even the New
Right.
Day has a match, and you're just like, wait, what?
Well, I mean,
So
do the Garzas have a match? Because aren't they the champs still over there? Or
uh
I don't
I don't
even
know.
like I don't even know.
I'm
Like,
lost there.
they've been off SmackDown. I'm like, oh, okay, well, all right.
Yeah.
So yeah, so then, funny enough, you mentioned it. Well, first we get a announcement that it will be Stephanie Vaquer versus Io Sky for the Women's
Yes.
World Heavyweight Championship at WrestlePalooza. Pierce gives out. Then we get the second of the 3 Judgment Day matches, which is Finn Balor versus Dragon Lee.
Yes.
Light chicanery and tomfoolery, but Balor comes out on top.
Yep.
I mean, great match. 2 solid in ring athletes. You know, other than that, I mean, kind of, I guess, just once again filler. Like, because there wasn't
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
much storytelling there other than Judgment Day versus a luchador because they're all going to be coming into AAA or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
And then I mean, that's all I got for that one. I mean, you're right.
yeah,
It was just standard match. Dragon Lee is, pretty solid as the luchador, as the next one to be the Rey Mysterio-esque type of luchador.
right.
But I'm unfortunately not convinced, but the guy still is pretty solid. He's just,
Oh
he
no,
does a pretty good job. So that's
no,
all I
he's
got to
great.
say
He's
about that
great,
one.
and in ring talent is fantastic. So then we get a shot of Nikki Bella talking to Io Sky,
Mhm.
and here come the Kabuki Warriors again.
Yeah.
Now they're annoyed that she's talking to Nikki, so they kick Nikki away, and Asuka throws a shot at Io, like, don't worry about it. We'll help you win with your championship match. And Io's like, no, I'll do it on my own. And Asuka's like, you couldn't do it on your own. The last chance you had.
Ooh.
Ooh. So, yeah, once again, we're getting the greatest soap opera that they have to
Yeah.
offer.
And then Kairi Sane is just like, oh, sorry.
She's just stuck in the middle. Poor thing. Because every time Asuka leaves, Kyrie's behind, and then you hear Kyrie, and then she hauls ass and gets out of there. So all right. Next match we have is a 6-man tag. The New Day, boys, with their boy Big G, Grayson Waller, versus Penta and the War Raiders. And I wrote down Viking Raiders at first, and then when I went back and they said War Raiders, I was like, oh crap, I got to change that before I say Viking Raiders, or Viking Experience, or whatever you want to call it.
Whatever they call it, man.
Yeah. I'll let you get into this match a little bit.
The only thing that I will say is, as soon as I saw them come out, I was like, the War Raiders are still around. I was like, yo, where they been?
I mean, ever since they got heckled by Xavier Woods, on ringside that one time, they've been gone. So to see them there was kind of cool. And they won the match with Penta. They won, but they were going crazy afterwards. I was like, yeah, man, soak up all the TV time you can now, because who knows when it's happening.
Yeah. But I mean, I think that was the only shocking thing for me, because I had no idea that Penta was aligned with the War Raiders. So I was like, so when did this,
I think they were just looking for a 6-man match because he's gone through everyone in the New Day, and they're like, well, we got to give him a tag team. And I mean, the last people they fought was them. So fine. Yeah. We find out that Dom versus AJ tonight, or that night, will be Finn and this guy, Big Head.
JD McDonough.
JD McDonough will be banned from ringside to Finn Balor's delight. He was kind of smiling at that. He was like, okay. Like, that stinks. Right. Kathy Kelly's in the back talking to Rhea Ripley. And then here we go again with the kabuki words, and here comes Asuka. Now she's beefing with Rhea, and Rhea's like, listen, I've been trying to be cool because, out of respect for EO, but don't be getting in my face. Asuka's like, look, I've been doing this for 10 years. I'll get in whoever's face I want. You're not ready for Asuka. Nobody's ready for Asuka.
Yeah.
And that's where this whole thing is leading to get to Rhea, Asuka at some point. So, and once again, Asuka storms off. Kairi Sane is left standing there just looking at Rhea, and then you hear, Kairi! And bang, out the door.
Runs off.
And then she's gone. Yeah. And then we get Judgment Day talking to, the ladies of Judgment Day talking to Pierce. Roxanne Perez is saying, why is Io involved in the championship match? I beat her. I should get a shot. He said, we'll see down the line. And then in comes Lyra Valkyria, wondering about Bailey and everything. Pierce is like, I spoke to her. She's fine. Oh, that's all you have to offer me? You spoke to her. She's fine. Well, give me something to do. I need a match. So next week, it'll be her versus one of the two young ladies in Judgment Day.
Yeah.
Not sure who it's going to be. But,
I wonder who.
I mean, they got it. I mean, Lyra, after the whole Becky thing, is just, whatever. Then we get AJ versus Dom.
Yes.
The actual match, which was a very solid match.
Really
very good match. Like I said, I'm getting impressed with, or staying more and more impressed with Dominic in the ring, as he progresses and ages. This one was solid until we get to the end, where there's chicanery and tomfoolery, but not by the Judgment Day. No, by Kaiser Americano.
Kaiser Americano,
who comes in and he puts the metal plate in his mask, and he just hits AJ, allowing Dominic to get the frog splash and the win and retain his Intercontinental Championship, which will be. Is he fighting? Is he defending it at AAA, or no? That was the last one he fought.
Yeah. No, the last one he went for the AAA Mega Championship. I think this time, he has to defend it. I gotta double check that one. But I know. Well, actually, I don't. No, he does have a match, right? Because all of Judgment Day is involved. Because even the girls are involved too. They have a match with Finn, like a 6-way tag,
a 6-person tag,
yeah,
intergender 6-person tag.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy.
The trios. So Dom retains. We get a Rusev package.
Yes,
great. Putting Rusev over, wonderful. Kelly talks to LA Knight. Here comes Jey Uso. Stay out of my way. Stay out of my way. Let's get through what we have to do tonight.
And it's 4 letters. Yeet, and he's like, nope, 4 letters. Oh, yeah.
All right, there we go.
At that point, I was like, yo, La Noche is on fire right now, bro.
Well, he didn't even say it. He was just like he just held up 4 and 1, and then he just said, yeah, and then he walked out. All right. Once again, like I said, not a big LA Knight guy, but he's earning his spot, and he's doing it well. And he's, like I said, I feel bad because he's getting the rug cut from under him relatively quickly and quite often. We find out, Punk finds out that Seth Rollins is in the building.
Yeah.
Apparently, Pierce has been getting texts saying he's here, he's here, he's here. To which Punk says, "All right, don't worry about it. I'll handle this." Punk then comes out to the ring and says, "I'm hijacking the show
Yeah.
until you come out," which I thought was great because, we have the main event, little time to kill. Great, let's find out what's happening here. Hear Rollins' music, and much to my surprise and probably everybody's, Becky Lynch comes out.
Yeah.
Now, this I will say, me and you've been hating on Becky a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. Like a lot. So this promo was great because of the fact that I think we are so annoyed with her that the heel aspect just turned it up even more. And I was like, "Oh yeah, you suck. Like
Yeah.
you just
Yeah.
you
Like, how
oh
dare
you you bitch. Like you bitch. Like man, like this, man." Because for those who don't know, like she came out and started running her mouth. You don't talk about
Yeah.
my husband, da da da. You're a loser, this, that, and the third. And Punk's like, just I just want your husband. Like, just get out of my way. So then Seth Rollins comes out, stands at the top of the ramp, and he's like, "You got something to say? Come say it to my face." So Punk tries to go over to him. She blocks him. He tries to walk another side. She blocks him again. Punk laughs and takes off. He goes one more time, gets around her, but at this point, Punk is now gone. Rollins is now gone.
Yeah.
So she's still in the ring, and now she just starts physically attacking my man. She slapped him like
Yes.
how
Yes.
many times? How many times? Bro, it was insane. She
Yeah.
kept, I was like, oh. Like it seemed like
Oh.
the first time she did it, she didn't catch it the way she wanted to. So she went again.
And then,
And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then she just kept going.
yeah.
And I was like, oh, we are going to have a problem here. And to Punk's, you got to give it to Punk. He never raised his arm. He never took a swing. He never did nothing because it's all setting up. It's all setting up. Because
Yeah.
as Becky Lynch is in the ring, everyone starts chanting for AJ Lee. She's not even here. She doesn't work for the company anymore, and all the stuff. And then to put salt in the wound, Punk says something like, "I'm leaving." She's like, "Yeah, you smell, you dirty." She's like, "I have to wash my hands because you're just filthy,
Yeah.
and I have your sweat on me. Disgusting." I was like, and she's doing this the entire walk down the ramp. There's a good 3 minutes of mocking my man and ridiculing him. So good segment, like I said, because of the fact that we are just over Becky. So this was good. Good to see her in this heel aspect really, really well with the guys, and to see where it plays and how it shakes out.
So I think my only comment about it, though, because you're right, I did enjoy it a lot. I love the fact that it was a surprise. It was Becky, and you're like, Becky of all people. And, you know, it was a really good interaction between Becky and Punk. I will give you that. I think the only thing that I don't like is, because you see this again later on in SmackDown, is Seth Rollins being afar. It's like,
Yeah,
I understand that, that's part of the plan, I guess, that,
right.
Punk won't attack or won't retaliate if it's Becky. But
Mhm.
but let's flip the coin. Now we're just looking at that and we're like, well, why do you have your wife fighting your battles for you? Because that's what happened in 2 nights. And not to
Right.
say that, Becky Lynch is not, a tremendous superstar in her own right, and she is the man. She,
Right.
um, but then if that it just doesn't make sense to me, or I
Mhm.
guess I need a more of an explanation on why they decided to go in this direction, because I'm not crazy about it. I like the
Right.
segments, but I just
Mhm.
I mean, and it makes sense because obviously they, like you said, they are setting up for something. They did set it up
Right.
on SmackDown, and then
Right.
we're setting up for the next thing. But at that point in time, watching Raw before you even knew what was coming next, you're asking yourself, but why? Why is Becky
Right.
fighting Seth's battle? Why is Seth the champion, the visionary, the guy who's going to change the business? Why are you
Mhm.
hiding at the ramp? You get what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
where I'm at.
Right. Yeah, because it's obviously it's the work, and they're like, he's gonna be back there, and put him distance between him and Punk, so Punk can't get to him if he wanted to, and
Right.
yeah. But it's a whole lot of stuff from someone who's been running his mouth the whole time about how he's the best, and it's like,
Exactly.
once again, adding to the heel work, but it's like, all right, well, just stop then, just stop.
Just
You can't come out here running about how awesome you are. She's in the ring and you're not. Like, but once again, part of the storyline, we get it. But just something that just needles at you a little bit. You're like, oh, all right, fine. So yeah, he walks out, Becky dips, and then we get the main event. which is Braun versus Jay and Noche, which is a very solid match. LA Knight ends up getting knocked out, and they start working Jay over. About to do a couple of tsunamis. They hit him once with the tsunami, about to go through it again to have him join his cousin Roman Reigns. When you hear Uso, and down comes Big Jim with a chair, the equalizer, to help his brother and make sure that he doesn't get tsunamied 57 times by, Bronson Reed. So, a solid match and good way to kind of bring Jimmy back, give him some semblance of prominence, especially with Naomi now being gone and everything. Not sure exactly where LA Knight fits in again.
Right, exactly.
Because he got knocked out and then he had nothing to do with what transpired in the last minute there. So, okay, Jim needs a spot. Let him soak up some of Jay's stuff and see if he can get his own thing going. But, ultimately, not bad. Just kind of whatever. Just, okay, kind of expected it.
Right. But I guess my thing at the end, the only thing that kind of I was kind of like, wait, what are we doing? Is I don't know if you heard, but remember, while he was tending to Jay, Jimmy was holding him, and Jay was like, I need you. I can't do this without you. And I was just like, are we setting up a reunion? Are we gonna have the Usos reunite for one night? Back in tag action for WrestlePalooza or the next PLE? Because again, we're moving so fast with these PLEs. If it's not a match that's going to be set up for WrestlePalooza, it's definitely going to be the match set up for the next PLE. So who knows? I don't know.
Well, like I said, they're just throwing a whole bunch of stuff to the wall, shaking shit out, and see what happens. That's the thing we spoke about it before, about Hunter leaving all the avenues open so that he can pick a storyline. It's just a matter of going and finishing it, or having it go longer than 3 weeks and then a PLE and then starting something new.
Exactly.
I understand the Becky Lyra thing got us, and we're like, this is too long. Then that was true, but some things are too short. There is a happy medium, and it's just about being able to find that happy medium.
Yeah. I guess sometimes we overthink it, and we want certain things done a certain way, and either if it takes too long or it takes too quick to get there, we kind of just get mad either way.
That's on us being just expect we want what we want, and even when we get it, we complain. So
exactly,
it's tough.
Exactly.
That's the thing is you're trying to make sure that everyone enjoys the product. So it's not just two idiots who are in the having a wrestling conversation. It's the universe. So
exactly. Yeah. But that's it. I mean, solid episode. If I had to grade it, I'd probably give it like a 7.5. I mean, it wasn't.
I was gonna say 7.5. Yeah, nothing. Because there's really, the matches were solid. Once again, the in-ring work was great. I had a lot of time devoted to the Kabuki Warriors, and like you said, a lot of Judgment Day.
Yeah.
So heavily featured in this episode. So, but I agree with you. 7.5. Nothing great.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's jump into SmackDown, which sometimes simplicity is everything, and I feel like that's what this episode gave us. SmackDown was live out of Chicago, and we open up with a giant John Cena promo. Really hitting everybody with the facts, and the facts of the matter is that that's what he mentions that was his last SmackDown. That was going to be, but it already passed. So it was his last SmackDown, and it was going to be his last time in Chicago as a wrestler. And you sit there and you're just like, oh my gosh, we're really, we're down to single digit dates. I mean, he got 8 more after this, right? Or probably less now.
I saw 8, but I don't know if that was before or after.
Right.
So if we're at 8, if not, we're at 7, which is even worse.
Yeah. So. Exactly. But he was saying, that we were in for a spectacular night and it's going to be fantastic. And then we get a slight interruption. Well, not slight. It was a deliberate interruption by Sami Zayn. He comes out and he says, well, you debuted on SmackDown. And, when I debuted on SmackDown, you gave me my first match. And it was actually for the U.S. title. So it's only right if I extend the challenge out to you, and maybe we should have a match. I mean, that's the way I heard it. I mean, he didn't sound like that, But to me, he was just like, I'm a huge fan and I'm here to give you
Right.
the match of your life.
Yeah,
That
it was
I
like face on face love. Like you're like, okay, all
yeah,
right. Just
that's
I get it. Like you revere him. Da, 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 da. Like just be like, hey man, let's get this match. Like let's have a match, me and you for the belt. Like let's see. Last time
exactly.
here, like let's go for it. Like there's another way to do it. But fanboying out, probably not the best way. But same as same.
Exactly. And then at this point we're 10 minutes in, and then, John Cena's like, so you want to have a match with me right now? Let's go. And then they start getting ready. Match starts, and then like 20 minutes into the whole match, right? Because it was a really good match.
It
Actually,
was a good match.
yeah, yeah. What I was gonna say was John is really, really making these matches count, like
Right.
this point on, right? Because the Clash was incredible, but this match with Sammy was just as good as a PLE quality type match. It
Yeah,
was
it was
really
a good
good.
match. He
Yeah.
did well. He's saving his best for last because these performances have been fantastic.
Yes, exactly. And then, shout outs to John, shout outs to Sammy on that performance. But then we hear doom, doom, doo, doo, doo. And my man, Brock Lesnar comes out and he pulls the referee from under the ropes, yanks
Man.
him. Yeah, I was like, yo.
I was like, don't hit it, man. He been on his head on the ground, man. Shit, that look because the
went,
poor referee was laying back, and then he just pulled him back, and there was a good 3 feet of air between the ref and the floor, and I was like, oh, this is not.
yes,
good.
no bueno.
Not gonna be good. Especially because Brock came out looking jacked. Brock came out
Yeah.
looking like really. I mean, sleeveless shirt, like extra ripped. Like
Yeah.
he did.
Yeah. And then something about the cowboy hat, man. It's just like that much more intimidating because like now he's like a cowboy, you know? It's like wild.
Living in North Dakota or whatever, like on his farm and shit. Yeah.
Just eating the cow straight up, right? just
not even shaving the thing, just hair and all.
Yeah, and then attacks Sammy first and then takes him out and then ultimately taking John out. And then he's walking out and he looks back and he gives like this menacing look, and then we cut to commercial, and then when we come back from commercial, you see him going through Gorilla and you see him say, John, I'll see you at WrestlePalooza. Boop. And I was just like, oh, but then I was like, oh no, like, but what's gonna happen? Like, will John win because it's the final go around, or will he put Brock over? But does Brock need to be over? They don't need to do this. Why are we doing this?
Why are we doing this? Exactly. Why? With a couple of dates left. Why?
Yeah.
So now we know that of the 8 dates, we know WrestlePalooza's one with Lesnar, and then we got to see what's left. Because, I mean, who's left on the board for him to even go after now? I mean, he started
probably AJ,
down.
right? You got to throw AJ Styles in there at some point.
Maybe, okay, all right. And then
Dominic Mysterio, you got to throw Dominic in there. There's a lot of rumors for it, so hopefully we get that. I don't know, man.
Only 8 dates, and now Lesnar's one of them. So
maybe Joe Hendry, right? Because that could be like the surprise. Oh, that'd be good. I don't know.
Maybe
we should just do an episode on who are the final 8 or the final 7.
Oh my God, the final 7. Jesus, yeah. I mean, but at this point, because everything's such a crapshoot, who knows? It truly is. It could be damn near anybody.
Yeah,
like it could, especially because John's been around for so long. He's fought everyone.
Yeah.
So it's it could go either way. My thought process is depending on what happens, what do you do with Lesnar?
Right.
Like if he loses, okay, then do you ride him out to the sunset and just let him chill, or
that's what he's been doing.
Is he back on the roster full time, or for Brock full time, which means he'll get the belt, he'll wrestle 3 times in 8 months, and then we'll have to watch the nonsense.
John did post on Instagram a picture of Edge, so maybe he's calling for Edge to come back, just for that one time after his AEW contract's up,
Yeah, well, we got. Who knows when that's up though? I mean, it'll have to be within.
I think
it's
up in right before December. Actually, I think it's in November that it's up. It's within the dates, is what I'm saying.
Okay, great. Well, if it's within the dates, then that's wouldn't be bad at all. Because then theoretically, what he could do is just be like, "No, I'm not resigning. Like, I'm gonna take a couple weeks, do something with WWE, and then resign if he wants." Like, totally
exactly.
But yeah, we'll see. Like I said, it's, once again, this whole Brock Lesnar thing is just leaving a sour taste in my mouth anyway. So
yeah,
we'll see. But for Cena's last run, let's do it. Let's see what happens. And then, like I said, let's see how they work it out afterwards, because that's going to really be a question mark as to what we're doing with both of them.
Yeah. But real quick before we move on to the next segment, I will say this, though. I mean, if you really think about it, you have somebody who is the biggest WWE superstar of all time and then you have somebody that was a name in UFC, and what you're doing is basically creating a money grab with this PLE on ESPN, because now you're pulling both crowds from both
Yep.
worlds into this one event to be like,
Yep.
yeah, I'll watch for Brock or I'll watch for Cena. You know what I mean? So smart move on
Yep.
Disney. I'll give you that.
Yeah. No, I mean, listen, they know what they're doing. That's why they are who they are.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but the minute, this stinks of TKO. This is TKO stench fucking all over it. It's just
All
like
over it, man.
pestoso.
Yeah.
Like it reeks of it.
Pestoso.
It reeks of it. But what do you do? What do you do?
Yeah. Yeah. But then we get Carmelo Hayes in the back because Nick Aldis is having a panic attack and he doesn't know what to do. And he goes, hey, Aldis, I'm here to ask you for a shot at the US championship. But before he even gets the words US championship, we get the Miz jumping in and being like, interrupting. He's like, no, we need a match for the tag belts. We need a title shot. And Melo's like, dude, why you always got to do that? He's like, what? Isn't that what you wanted? And he's like, no, man, you're always speaking for me. And as they're bantering, we see an Escalade pull into the driveway and we're wondering who it is. And it's Becky Lynch in a very, very loud orange furry coat.
Yes, she's now being dressed by her husband's wardrobe guy also, because both of them just come out with the outlandish outfits, which hey, I dig. I'm always down for a funky outfit.
Why not?
So, but yeah, exactly. Who cares?
And then we get the Aleister Black video package, which was really solid. Basically saying, hey, it's basically about him and his beef with Damian, but he was like, listen, I follow the rules until I don't. So Damian, you watch your back pretty much. So that's actually setting up the next match and the second match of the evening, which we have Damian Priest walking out. And as he's going through his entrance, he's halfway down the ramp. And then out of nowhere, we get Aleister Black viciously attacking him from behind and beating him. Yeah. And then commercial break. And then we end up in the ring. And then, everybody's not everybody, but Damian is like all frazzled. And then I guess the ref is like, we're going to start this match. And then they start the match and, they go in and obviously these guys are, top tier, really good job in the ring. But then ultimately Aleister Black swings that, crazy kick on his face and bam, knocks him out. And I will say Damian does a really good job at selling like the aftershock of the hit. Like he's just on the floor, like eyes bugging out, like, ay, ¿qué pasó?
You kicked me so hard you woke me up.
Yeah.
So I mean, this was solid. This was solid. I mean, both these guys are great. So
yeah.
Black Mass is a quick move out of nowhere. Which is great because you can literally anytime you can just break it out. So good match. Both I miss Priest. I missed Aleister Black, so this is good. Good to see them both get some time finally on the air because it's been a while that Aleister Black has come back and it hasn't really panned out to too much. So I think having this with him and Priest is good because Priest hasn't been around too much either. So good way to ingratiate both these guys back and give them TV time. And once again, a very solid match.
Yeah. No complaints here. Very good watch. And then, but then the night keeps moving and we get Tiffany Stratton promo in the back. They're asking her about the comments that Jade Cargill made previously and how she's ready for if she's ready rather for her match next week against Jade for the title. And she basically doesn't seem worried. And she says, yeah, I mean, she's lost before and I feel like I could get this win again. And she could talk all she wants, but I'll be victorious basically next week. And then the next segment is Jade watching the promo, I guess in a different room.
Well, yeah, and on tape delay.
Tape delay, right?
And on tape delay.
And then she's just chuckling and she's like, okay, this girl's crazy. And then we get Nia Jax walking in and she's like, didn't you lose to her like already? Like twice? Like, and Jade's like, whoa, chill. Didn't you lose to her? And she's like, whatever, like girl fight, right? But then, ooh, what? No, no, you didn't, right? No, but anyway.
Get my Vaseline. Get my Vaseline. Get my earrings off and stuff.
But then basically Jade is like, well, when I become champion, I'll let you get first digs at it. All right. And then she's like, whatever. And then Nia kind of walks away. And then, which I found like I get they had to like throw them in there to like set up next week, but then I was just like,
Right.
yeah, that was really like a waste of 5 minutes. But okay, cool. Let's keep it moving.
Filler, especially on the 2-hour SmackDown. You're like, I guess there's something to do. Whatever, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, they got to start hyping this up, especially with Jade. You know, you made her the queen of the ring. You know, she's has lost to Tiffy twice, and Tiffy's had that belt for a good amount of time. I'm not saying that it's going to move, but you have to kind of start pushing this along as well.
Yeah, for sure. I actually think it's going to move. I think third time's a charm, right? I guess at this point,
we'll see. We'll see.
We shall see. But then we get Julia coming out, setting up for the next match for the U.S. Women's title. And then right before the match starts, we get a quick segment with Becky, you know, and in the back. And then also, I believe this is where Nick asked Becky not to cause any issues. And Becky's like, no, hey, I'm just here. You know, like I would never. You already look stressed. So actually, I'm going to give you some time to, you know, figure yourself out and I'll just leave. And I was like, okay, that was fun. Let's keep it going. Right. Yeah, I know. Right.
Big raspberry.
Yeah, exactly. And then and then we get and then we go back to the ring and we see Michin coming out. And then I guess at this point, I mean, it's been almost a month already. I guess Beachin is just not a thing anymore because Michin is just rolling solo.
You know what, WWE, you blew it.
You blew it.
I gave it to you. And you blew it. Okay, just saying.
Yeah. But this time I did write in my notes. I was like, you know what? I appreciate Michin with the updated gear. I wasn't really crazy about the shorts and the t-shirt. It's like, I get you trying to do like a, you know, like I don't know, like a East LA look or whatever, but this gear had a nice combination of both, and I was like, I like this. This is nice and clean. You're a pro. Let's do it.
Change it up a little bit, right? Yeah, look the part a little bit. You know, I mean, I understood the tattered jeans and everything, but yeah, no, this is a little more wrestler-esque. So more. Exactly. I don't want to say it looks more professional, but it looks cleaner and tighter.
Yeah.
Not tight like in terms of like the way it fits her, like, but just like tighter as in like
sure. You know, open to interpretation.
Thank you.
And then, of course, Julia gets the win and retains a decent match. And then, you know, then we get a quick segment with Charlotte Flair because she needs to get clearance, right? Because she's like, why does something bad always happens to me when I'm in this city, you know, taking a dig at Chicago, but in a playful way, right? Not in a heelish way, but in a playful way. And then
I'm sure everyone thought it was playful.
Yeah. And then we get Bliss, you know, coming out with the little doll, and you know, they're playing doctor and whatnot. And at this point, I was like, okay, let's move it along. Come on, more filler. Let's go. Yeah. And then we get Seth Rollins coming out. And at this point of the evening, because we're pretty much towards the end of it, I was sitting here and I was watching and I was thinking, I was like, why are these people even here? I mean, I understand Punk may wanted to come to Chicago.
Chicago, his hometown.
Right. But I mean, I feel like all these Raw superstars had no reason to be here except for this particular setup. You know what I mean? They just showed up.
No, you're not wrong. But I mean, well, who else was there? Because it was these two and
Punk. Yeah, those three. No, they're all Raw.
Well, Punk. Well, yeah, no, but Punk, you knew he was gonna be there because it's his hometown. Yeah. So that was gonna happen. The other two, it's like, come on, man. Like, I understand we're selling this, and you kind of have to, especially being that it's in Chicago, for the pop that you're looking for at the end. So while we get it, it's like, but now we're just crossing over. Motherfuckers can come over whenever they want and just take screen time and stuff. Like, okay.
Yeah. But this time Seth comes out through the crowd. He's just standing there next to the, you know, skybox section, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get, you know, Becky Lynch coming out as well with the longest intro I've ever seen in my life. It was like, why is this long? I get, but it's almost like the last 10 minutes of SmackDown. So I guess we had to just try to kill time. And then we get the same basically interaction between Becky and Punk because Punk comes out. But this time, you know, Punk basically alludes to the fact that, you know, he's going to have some backup. And he starts name dropping. He's like, you know, Becky, you know, I would never hit a woman, but you act like I can't call in a favor. You act like I can't call Bailey. And she's like, I've beaten Bailey before. So, you know, what? I ain't scared. And he's like, okay, well, you act like I can't call Rhea to come, mess you up. And he's just like, well, whatever. Like, she's not phased by it,
Right.
And then, but I like that Punk got a little gangster with it because he's like, you act like I don't got shooters in the crowd. I was like, he was like, you act like I can't call one of my Chicago sisters to come beat you. He had to clean it up. But he was like shooters. I was like, oh, all right, Punk, relax.
All right, man, we're on Netflix and somewhere on Peacock or somewhere. I don't know, some kind of channel.
But yeah, so but then he steps out the ring. Or actually, no, Becky keeps hitting him. He's like over it. He gets out the ring. He walks all the way around back towards the ramp, and then he's like, or I could always call. And then there's like a little pause, and then boom. AJ Lee's music comes out and everybody's going wild, and that Chicago, that Chicago crowd is fantastic. And what a way to, bring us home at the end of this SmackDown episode, because now Becky is shaking in her boots. Now Becky is like dropping the title and she doesn't know what to do. And AJ Lee, in true like psycho girl fashion, crazy girl fashion, she's just strolling down the ramp and looks at Punk and goes around the ring and then goes in and then is strolling all over the place, does her signature pose on the ropes. And then Becky's like, I ain't going to wait for you to come hit me. I'm going to attack you first. And then AJ Lee wasn't going to have it, over aggressive, takedown, because like her foot, it was just aggressive. It was like, And then ultimately, she gets knocked out of the ring. Seth, like a punk, finally makes it his way down, hops over the railing, and then they start cowering away onto the ramp, going back towards. And then we have the cherry on top, this sweet moment where AJ and Punk look at each other and they're like, oh, my love, you're here. And then she jumps on him and they share a kiss and everybody's like, yay! And then we look at the ramp and we see, Seth and Becky all distraught. And we see executive producer Paul Levesque and Lee Fittings. And that's it. And what I will say is this. I will say that it was a beautiful moment. It was awesome. I always like to use Laura as an example because, again, she's a new fan. But for her to see this segment and she's like, oh, I like her. She's pretty cool. Like, was she that cool back in the day? And to be honest with you, for me, and I was like, I don't know. I wasn't really a fan of the Divas division back then, unfortunately, because they were all misrepresented or misused at that point as talent. So I wasn't really big on it. But I mean, nostalgia is a heck of a drug, and everybody's excited to have her back. And I'm excited to see what she's going to do with the company because apparently she did sign a multi-year deal with them. So,
she did. Okay, all right. Well, see, that was my thing. That was my question, because I was gonna say, depending on what happens here, it's like the Cena Lesnar thing. Like, what happens after the match? Like, where do they go? But if she signed, then then this is gonna be there for a hot minute. So great. I mean, everyone's been waiting for this to happen. The minute Punk came back, everyone was like, surely AJ Lee will come, even if it's just for an appearance or two. But now she signed the multi-year deal. So with what happened on Monday when she was slapping him and he walked away, you saw exactly where this was going, knowing that Chicago was the next place that they were going to hit. So, but once again, Becky Lynch played the heel wonderfully. And to your point where she was like, he kept throwing names and she's like, no. When AJ Lee's music hit, Becky looked shook. Which I thought, once again, kudos to her for selling as well as she did. So I enjoyed it. It was good, and it's good to have AJ Lee back. Good to see her back. We'll see, if she still has it. I'd like to think she does. She wouldn't come back unless she could. So this should be good. But I enjoyed that, was because especially we were waiting for it. I was like, okay, bang, we got it. So it was the one time from both shows where I was like, okay, I'm good. Like,
okay,
I'm content. I'm content with what it is, because it was what it was supposed to be.
Yeah, exactly. And if I had to rate the show, I'd give this one like an 8 or 8.5, just for the sweet moment at the end and the great match between John and Sammy.
Well, I mean, that was good, and the Aleister Black Damian Priest match was good, and Julia Mitchell was good. I mean, all the matches once again were solid. So yeah, very, very. I'm gonna go 8.5 probably as well. Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Before we wrap up, and let me put this new idea out there, right? Who
Good.
would you think, based on both episodes, would be the standout superstar of the week, right? Because we've been giving Becky a lot of props. So my mind instantly went to, if we were to start this every week, I feel like Becky deserves it this week.
Yeah. She was captivating the entire time she was on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
She owned it and she did it well. So yeah, I'm gonna agree that it's Becky. Because I mean, all the major storylines she was involved in, flowed through her and everything, and she did a fantastic job being the mouthpiece for Seth Rollins when he couldn't be, whatever.
I'm being a little punk about it, but yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I like that. We should start doing that every week now. I like that.
All right. I mean, if there's depending on the shows, if they don't coincide, then you have to have a standout from one and a standout from the other. So
yeah, sure.
Okay. But this happens to be the same because she was on both episodes.
But if Hurricane shows up in both episodes and gets knocked out, I'm gonna give it to the Hurricane.
Him, Jamie Noble, any of them. Like if I see, yes.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. But overall, decent week for wrestling. Still got to catch up on some other stuff this week because it's just so much content as always.
It's a lot. They're throwing a lot. Once again, they're throwing a lot. And while it's enjoyable to have so many things, it's like homeworky.
Yeah, homeworky. Yeah, homeworky is the best way to say it.
Like I'm like, what am I? Homeworky. Yes, homeworky. That's what. Okay.
Yeah.
But overall, not bad, man. Solid. It's all right. Like I said, we're building to WrestlePalooza and Triple, which is coming up and on Friday. So we'll see. Like I said, standard things, but with the exception of Lesnar and AJ Lee, of course. But one really doesn't move the needle for me. The other one was quite fun.
Yeah, man. Bueno, at this point of the show, we always like to take this opportunity to go ahead and thank our primos, our listeners, for, hanging with us, commenting, sharing, liking, subscribing, and just good old just participation. We agree. We are everything. Yeah, exactly.
Everything.
We are over the moon, and we are so grateful to have every single one of you, participate in the show and with the comments and just listening and just keep rolling with us. I promise you, we're just going to keep growing. We're going to get better and better and better. And it's just going to get bigger. And we got a couple of things still coming down the line. We have a special episode coming up this week that should be coming out at some point Tuesday, right? I believe, maybe. I don't know. Well, we'll figure that out.
We'll figure it out.
But overall, man, we love you all and we appreciate you. And Primo, you got anything to add to that?
No. Thank you, everybody. Tell your friends about it. Smash the like button, primosforlife.com. You can figure out where we are, everywhere, Instagram, TikTok, all the places. Muchísimas gracias a todos. We really appreciate everything you guys do. Let us know if the new format worked, if you thought you heard one of us drowning on too long, things like that. Just keep us posted, please. We want to know. We want to kind of tailor the show so that you guys want to come back and continue to listen. So if there's something you don't like, something you do like, please feel free to just let us know. But that being said, we just want to thank you guys and we love all of you. Muchísimas gracias a todos.
Muchísimas gracias a todos. Yeah. Quick shout out to NWA for a fantastic show. Got to meet some folks, got to see some people again, some good friends. Always a good time. So just a quick shout out to them. And that's pretty much it. Pretty much so como siempre, like nothing else. You know what to do, man.
That's it. Well, once again, we've thanked everybody. We've done the episode, everything we can do. So it is that time, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to bid farewell to everybody and say adios, buenas noches. We will see you when we see you.
Yeah, we will see you when we see you. Take care, everybody.